gonna get my pan heated because this is a shallow pan fry, and I wanna make sure the pan is heated before I put the oil in. And it's really a cornmeal based kind of donut thing. I have 3/4 of a cup of cornmeal that I'm getting started with. And these are rolled out long and thin, sort of like big, wide, fat cigars. 2 tablespoons of sugar, which gives it a little bit of sweet. Now remember, we had that spicy, savory, fiery Jamaican jerk. So this little sweet and crunch is a great combination. And then 1 cup of flour, kind of lighten up the cornmeal. And half a teaspoon of salt. A teaspoon of baking powder. We want a little bit of puffiness here when it's finally cooked. And then back to our roots and allspice, which is also known as pimento. About 1/8 of a teaspoon of allspice. Now, the thing about allspice is it really is what it says. It tastes like a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of clove, a little bit of nutmeg. So if you just want one-stop shopping for that spice, that's where you go. And then just take your whisk and whisk it up, which is no different than sifting it together. Simple as could be. And the wet ingredients, we have a teaspoon of vanilla. And that just, again, I really love when there's vanilla and a little bit of sugar in something that's supposed to be eaten savory. And to that, I'm also gonna add 3/4 of a cup of milk. That's it. Now over here, I'm just gonna add, actually, before I do that, hopefully my pan's heated up and it's time for my oil. Yeah, it's hot. So I want 2 cups of oil. And this is a great pan for this. You could use any pan that's similar. You want to make sure that you get, you know, a wide bottom, and you want to be able to get enough oil in there so that it'll get it nice and golden and crispy. And then just stir in your liquid. I can hear that oil heating up over there. I think it's talking to me, waiting for that festival, wanting to, you know, have a festival. All right. I'm not sure where, you know, I've studied and worked in Jamaica a lot, and I know a lot about where the food comes from. And I know festival is a relatively new thing, certainly not as old as the tradition of jerk. I don't know where it came from, but I do know why it came in, because it is a great combination with jerk. And frequently when you go to jerk pits or jerk centers in Jamaica, which are just little like hamburger stands basically, you'll see that there's always festival on the menu now. This is just what you want with the dough. It's a little stiff, but it's still a little wet. And then you very generously flour your surface. And it's just because you don't want any stickiness, and the dough is wet enough that it can pick up a little flour. And I'm seeing that the oil is heating beautifully. It's got a tiny bit of a ripple on top, and that's what you want. You really don't want it smoking. Just bring it right out onto your surface. And then make sure that you get some flour onto your hands on top of all that, because you want to make sure that you're not sticking so much. So I'm going to just put some on here. All right. Okay. That is great. Get it into a log, and then the log gets into about 8 pieces. So I'll just use a knife here and cut it first in half, and then in half again, again, and again. And just keep going like that. Again, flour my hands a little bit. Roll it up. Make sure this is hot enough, so I'm going to crank it on up. And you're ready to go. And you just keep frying these. Make sure you fry. You might want to double this recipe, actually, because I can tell you something right now. When people start smelling it and they start eating that jerk chicken, they're going to want enough. So there we go. Thanks for watching. Hungry for more? Click here for more great recipes. And to subscribe, click here. Check back every week for more craveable recipes, leave a comment, and tell me what you think. And don't forget, head over to our other channels for Everyday Food with Sarah Carey, Martha Stewart Weddings, and the Martha Stewart channel.